Very good. Okay. Well, ready to knock out another video blurb. Yeah. The this one something I wrote, but I don't think I've published yet. Yeah. Yeah, you're in on the ground floor. I know. And I You know what happened earlier today? You know how Facebook does the anniversary thing? They'll show what you did. Maybe they'll find something interesting you did a few years back on this given day. Well, they sent they this today. It was There was this picture I took of my Basset Hound Millie uh, taking over my easy chair. Yeah, uh, calmly sleeping while in my easy chair that used to be mine for watching TV or reading, writing a little now and then. Now it was her spot, right? and, and honestly, if I even dared to sit in it, I'd just get the old fish eye, right? Okay, well, I got to thinking just what a great, uh, except for losing your easy chair, it's pretty nice having a dog. And I often will write stories about how, frankly, sometimes I think dogs, when it comes to being nice and contributing to the world, they might do a better job than people do sometimes. Anyway, this one I thought you'd like. I haven't published this before yet, but I will one day. Anyway, it's called Millie and the Soon to Be Nicer Day. Well, I'm going to have to kind of look over here. I can't quite look in the camera and read it at the same time. So, but just bear with me here. Let's see. Well, there's a really fine love song out there about something near and very dear to all of us. It's sung by a truly wise and talented singer-songwriter named Lindy Gravel. Her song tells of the wonderful love affair between us humans and our dogs. The song is called, oddly enough, I Love My Dog. You can look it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube. With that beautiful voice of hers, she explores that love we have for canines and in return, the love they have for us. This love between us might even be a lopsided love affair when you get right down to it, with dogs getting the high score. I'm beginning to think that dogs have the patent rights and all the blueprints to this thing called love. They could be better lovers than perhaps we will ever be. Maybe they know how, and maybe they know and do something with love that we don't quite yet understand. They seem to have the right idea about love. Better still, maybe they have no idea about love at all. The best thing I can say is that we human beings think and muse about love. Dogs just mindlessly start wagging their tail and licking your face. Oh, sure, we humans love our dogs as much as we can for the most part. With our bigger brains, we spoil and care for our wonderful mutts, doing all we can to make them happy. We know a good thing when we see one, and we do our best to hold up our end of the bargain, of course. My Basset Hound Millie and I were, for instance, case in point, my Basset Hound Millie and I were out for a bit of a walk not too long ago. We had come off a bridge over a trout stream and were turning onto an old parking lot along a highway. The lot once held the local fire hall, but that was long ago. The fire company had moved to a newer fire hall just a short way off. The old hall was taken down, and now, the lot stood empty. Fishermen sometimes used the lot for parking. And on this particular day, the lot was host to a highway safety inspection random stop team. Right. Instead of fishing in the river for trout, this crew was fishing along the highway to check cars for safety violations and missing paperwork. This time, the drivers were the catch of the day. Police were pulling every 10th vehicle out of traffic and put them into line. The human trout weren't too tickled about it either. There was a lot of arguing going on. Oh my gosh. Both sides of the law were red in the face. Tickets were flowing like wine. Lawyers actually would have been wise to at least set up a card table nearby. They'd have done very well. And Millie and I walked through this scene from Dante's Inferno. I told Millie to keep her ears down and don't listen. She wasn't paying much mind to the humans anyway. She was too busy sniffing for any old bait or sandwiches that the fishermen might have discarded. I noticed this huge officer walking back to a car with a fistful of violations for the driver du jour, the driver of the moment. He got to the driver's side window, and the screaming from both sides of the issue began. The car had bald tires, and the exhaust was belching thick black smoke, which became even blacker if the driver hit the gas. Of course, the driver hit the gas when the officer was bending down to decipher the license plate. The inspection sticker had some value as an antique, but it really hadn't been valid since Truman was president. You get the idea. It was a typical Jersey Turnpike bomb. Yeah. Millie and I gave the scene a wide berth. We walked over to a gentle slope on the riverbank so Millie could get a nice cool drink. The geese even had their necks strained to keep tabs on that patrolman and his victims. So their grudge match. No, they were there. Yeah. When Millie was through drinking and waiting, we started heading back. That driver's seat was full of that driver's back seat was full of tickets. I mean, really, right up to the windows. His car pulled out, and in one last gesture of contempt for the law, the driver showered the old lot and all who were in it with gravel. The officer was not a happy camper. Oh, he wished he could just fire one shot. Yeah, you could. He was having a bad day, and you'd have been wise to avoid him at all costs. He was every bit as big as that wrestler Haystacks Calhoun. Huge guy. Oh, my gosh. And he was just spitting nails. Worse than that, he was only just about 20 feet away and heading in our direction. Sad to say, we were on a collision course with the man. Oh, man. I was thinking that maybe we should give the guy some room. I tried to change course, but Millie wouldn't hear of it. She tugged on her leash and went in low gear. Basset hounds can get... they're already pretty low to the ground. They're low to the ground, but she got even lower. And it's just, you'd have to see it to believe it. But she can actually, I think she could pull a semi when she gets into that position. Anyway, she got into low gear and pulled us with all her might to the officer. Her tail was in high gear, too, as she put on her cutest face, wagging her tail and her cute face. Gets her eyes going, the officer saw her and stopped in his tracks. He looked down at her. You have to look down at basset hounds. There's no way to look up at them. At first, he scowled. Then that frown he was wearing started to crack like a dam about to break. Soon, that big guy, who I'm sure had seen his share of trouble that morning, was kneeling down to pet Millie. Kneeling down, yes. She rolled over for a belly rub. He just started laughing. Millie's belly is the eighth wonder of the world. Those big old hands of his relaxed and gave her a bit of her belly rub and on her chest and stuff. And Millie got to her feet and gave the now smiling officer a shot at doing ear rubs. Hound ears are very therapeutic, yes. The policeman was scratching Millie's chin. I told him he ought to watch out. Hound chins get pretty stinky. He said he didn't care. He was so happy. Millie was happy, too. It seemed that an eternity went by. The patrolman stood up, brushed the dog hairs from his trousers. Basset hounds are always shedding. Yeah, he shook hands with me and walked away with a smile and a whistle. His day was now brighter, and Millie had another pal. I think dogs have a way of giving love that to most of the folks they meet long before they get anything in return. They pay the love forward. Yeah, they do. They also seem to give it back to the best of their ability in triple portions. In other words, they give 3 kisses for 1 received. It's not a way to make a profit, but it sure is a way to live, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I thought you might like that. I'll have some more Millie the Hound stories for you. In fact, I wrote a whole book about it. Just haven't published it yet, but it's all written. Anyway, I thought I'd say. God bless, friends. We'll see you later. Bye now.